Well, hey guys, welcome to Activate with Kazzi. I'm your host, Kazzi Teel. How the heck are you today? Woo! It's a good day, isn't it? I am super pumped to be here with you guys, and I'm super grateful that you are here tuning in with me today. If you're a first-time listener, welcome. So glad you stopped by to check out the show. Now, before we get going today, I got to tell you guys something scary happened to me this morning. It's horrible. I stepped outside and it's freezing. It is freezing. Fall is here. It is a chilly 36 degrees outside. So I am so grateful that I'm working inside today. I'm so grateful that I get to enjoy an amazing hot cup of coffee while we hang out today because I am not a fan of the cold. Now, I absolutely love where I live from April through September. October to March, not so much. Not so much. Now, I know what you're going to say, Kazzi, you don't have to live here. People tell me that all the time, but here's the deal. As much as I dislike the cold weather, this is still home. Okay, this is still home. That's why I love to travel. In fact, I already have 2 short trips planned this month to get back into the sunshine. So don't worry about me. I'm gonna be fine. Now, let's dig in. Last week on the show, we talked about activating our life path. And it was a really fun show to record because, man, it is so true when you start thinking about the path that we take in life and how it affects everything, right? Because we get one life, but in that one life, we get choice. So imagine this. Imagine right now, this is it. Like, this is your moment and you have 2 choices, okay? Choice number 1. Stay comfortably uncomfortable where you are right now. Oof, right? Stay comfortably uncomfortable where you are right now. Or choice number 2, stand tall and declare that I want more. So it's your choice. Stay comfortably uncomfortable, live the status quo, settle, right? Settle for where you are right now. Or stand tall and declare it that you want more. It's your choice. What's it gonna be? Yes. Okay. If you missed the show last week, go check it out. Okay. Go check it out because I dropped some absolute gold when it comes to understanding that you are made for more if that's what you want. Now, the show today, we're going to switch gears a little bit. Now, in our world right now, Sadly, fitting in is what's cool. Sadly, normal, right? I'm putting normal in quotations right now. Normal is cool. Mediocrity is cool. Average is cool. And for whatever reason, wanting more, chasing greatness, it's not cool. And it's frustrating to me on so many levels. And I got to be honest, I see it every single day. Okay. I see it every single day in this world and it drives me nuts. And I've had so many conversations about this lately. And so I feel like it's a really, really important topic to talk about today on this show. Now, when we talk about life today, now I am 45 years old. So obviously life is a little different today than back when I was a little kid. Okay. But I got to tell you, not only is life different, but life feels different. Like the vibe of life is just different. And maybe the vibe's different simply because I see life out of a completely different lens. But oh my gosh, I'm just so blessed because I'm telling you what, when I was a kid, life was amazing. Okay, I'm an 80s farm kid. If you read what was going on in the history books, there's a lot of shit going down in the world in the 80s. But I got to tell you that my life as an 80s farm kid was amazing. My parents, love them so much. I had the best parents in the world. Like I wish there was a contest that I could put them in because I'm telling you what, they would win hands down for being the best parents in the world. And they're the best parents in the world because I learned everything from watching them do. They didn't just tell me what to do. I watched them. I learned desire, grit, love, how to work, how to chase my dreams. Like I learned what I wanted in life by watching them. And I will never forget the values that they instilled in me at a very, very young age. And they always told me, and they always told my sisters, and they always told my brother that everything is possible. Like we were all told from a very young age that we could do whatever we wanted if we were willing to go to work and go get it. Like nothing was ever handed to us on a silver platter. But the invitation to go get it was always there. And I love that. I love that because my parents taught me how to work and they taught me how to dream big and they taught me how to go get it. And so when I was little, I had ginormous dreams. I'm talking giant dreams, okay? And I got to tell you, I was going after all of them. It wasn't like I just put the dreams in a dream box and hoped they would come true. Heck no. I had ginormous dreams and I was going after all of them. And something crazy happened. Something crazy happened when I went to school. So now I'm 5 years old and I go to school and I realized very, very quickly that I was different and I hated it. I mean, first of all, I remember when, you know, what it's like when you're little, you tell your friends, this is what I want to be when I grow up. And everybody wanted to be a mom and everybody wanted to be a school teacher. And you know, some people want to be cheerleaders. When it was my turn, when they said, Kazzi, what do you want to be? I said I wanted to be a doctor. Like that was my goal. I wanted to be a doctor because I wanted to help people and I wanted to make a lot of money. Those were my two big goals in life. And I remember kids laughing at me saying, girls can't be doctors. Like, what are you thinking? You can't be that. And I remember thinking for the very first time, like, whoa, like maybe these kids are right. And I felt like a little bit of self-doubt creeping in, like 5 years old. I am letting the voice of the world get into my brain. Like, how crazy is that? And so that was one way where I knew I was different, is I just wanted different things than the kids in my class. Another area in my life that drew a lot of attention was my name, Kazzi, which is short for Kasman. Very unique, very different, not a traditional name for a young lady in South Dakota, right? And so right off the bat, when I started school, again, the kids always made fun of me for my name. And they would tell me things like, is that really your name? Is it a joke? Your name's weird. Like, what kind of name is Kazzi? Who named you that? And like, why did your family name you that? Man, oh my gosh, why did I let that bother me? Because seriously, at 5 years old, I was letting this kind of crap get in my brain. And so at 5 years old, I'm starting to question, like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Why do I want to be a doctor? Is that normal? Why do I have a weird name? In fact, I remember when the kids would start giving me crap about my name, I would say things like, yeah, I know, I don't like it either. When I'm 18, I'm changing my name to Cindy. Seriously, I was changing my name to Cindy at 18 years old. I mean, this is coming out of the mouth of a baby. And so I remember thinking in kindergarten, like, okay, something's wrong because I think a little different. And that makes me stand out among my peers. And this is not cool. All right. So at 5 years old, I already started to think that, okay, maybe this isn't cool. So now that's kindergarten. Elementary school, I was super, super, super outgoing. Definitely an extrovert. Okay. I was born an extrovert. I was an absolute chatterbox. And all my teachers wanted me to do was shut up. Okay. All my teachers wanted me to do was to shut up. And I got to tell you, I had things to say. I had things to say, but I couldn't share because nobody wanted to hear it. Like I was the kid that always raised my hand. I felt like no one was ever calling me because I was like, help, pick me, pick me, pick me. and I would like blurt out the answer and I would get in trouble. But anyway, I hated it. And it was misery, like absolute misery for me to sit in silence. I mean, you guys know, those of you that are introverts out there, you know, it is absolute misery for you to have to speak and to go in large groups of people. It was misery for me to have to sit in silence for hours, okay? Hours. Tell an extrovert to be quiet. I dare you. I dare you. But I one time remember I had a teacher ask me if there was something wrong with me because I talked too much. And I remember that same teacher actually drug my desk into the hallway and she made me sit in it. It was horrible. Like, it was so horrible. I was so embarrassed because, again, I was being singled out because I wasn't like everybody else. And she told me my desk was going to stay there until I learned to shut my mouth and keep it shut. Wow, right? Wow. And so again, I started to think like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with me because I like to talk. And all these other kids are super, super quiet. And I'm like the crazy kid who is like the Energizer Bunny, filled with energy, who loves to talk. And for whatever reason, that was a bad thing. And then came the awkward stages of adolescence. And on top of that, I was a late bloomer. So here you get this tall, very skinny girl, right? I was flat-chested. I had your typical teenage acne. I was not coordinated. I loved all the sports, but I didn't have the natural talent that a lot of my friends had. I mean, seriously, it was very, very hard to find jeans that were long enough for me. So you know what I wore to school most days? I wore sweatpants. Now, mind you, athleisure wasn't cool yet, okay? This is not a fashion trend. I always tell people that I set the trends of athleisure because I wore sweatpants and sweatshirts every day before it was socially acceptable and before it was cool. So you are welcome, those of you that love your athletic gear that you get to wear. But I got to tell you, 30 years ago when I was rocking the sweatpants to school every day, wasn't cool, okay? It wasn't cool. And so I'm just thinking about all the things that are happening in my life right now. A lot of things didn't come naturally to me. I was the kid that always had to work a little harder. Okay, I always had to work a little harder. Things didn't come natural for me in sports. Yes, I was athletic, but I wasn't coordinated, so I had to work a little harder. I had to work a little harder in the classroom. Yes, I was smart, but I had to put in the extra effort. Okay, I was a perfectionist, and so I had to put in the extra effort if I wanted to get the desired result. And it's crazy because it was probably high school when I realized, okay, maybe this is okay. Like, maybe it's okay that I have to work a little harder in sports. Maybe it's okay I have to work a little harder in the classroom, because it was then that I really started to desire greatness. Like, I had big goals and big dreams. And I realized if I was going to accomplish big things, I was going to have to do different things. And one of the very first things I realized outside of having to work a little harder is I realized that I wasn't going to be a party girl. Like, there was nothing that excited me about going to parties and drinking. And it just didn't align with where I wanted to go, because at that point in my life, all I wanted to be I didn't want to be a good athlete. I wanted to be a great athlete. I wanted straight A's. Okay. I didn't settle for anything less. Those are my top two priorities in life. And so seriously, my Friday nights consisted of going to McDonald's, eating chicken sandwiches and Coke. Okay. I would go to McDonald's, get a number 4 with a Coke on Friday night. Like, that was my social life. And I got made fun of all the time for it. Okay. So I got made fun of for my social life. I got made fun of for my body. In fact, my nickname was Beanpole. I got made fun of for being a nerd. Oh my gosh. I was bullied extensively by a group of older girls. I mean, they made my life hell in high school. And at the time, it sucked, okay? At the time, it sucked. At the time, I remember just thinking, maybe I need to just do what I need to do to fit in. But as I look back right now, I just think, I wanted to blend in, and it was hard not to, but it was all part of the plan of becoming who I am today. I didn't understand it then, but I really, really understand it now. And I'm so grateful I had the courage and I had the confidence and I had the strength to stand firm on who I was. I had the courage and the confidence and the strength to be proud of what I was working towards, right? Because I was the loud kid who was told to shut up 1,000 times, okay? This loud kid who was told to shut up 1,000 times graduated with honors, graduated with a scholarship to go play college basketball, and graduated knowing that I was going to do great things, okay? And so when you think about all the things happening up at this point, I felt very different as a young kid. I felt very different in grade school. I felt very different in high school. But it took me a long time to realize that being different was okay. Wanting more is okay. And accomplishing my dream of playing college basketball was just awesome. So here I am, right? Here I am. And it wasn't until after high school that I had my glow up. Like I love that I had my glow up after high school. Like I didn't peak at 16. I didn't peak at 18. And I'm so grateful for that because it was truly like the moment that I finally grew into my body. I could finally stand up and be proud that I was 6 feet tall. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to hunch over because I didn't like being so tall. But now here I am. I'm so excited about who I've become. I'm finally growing into my body. I'm finally developing that coordination. I'm finally figuring out who I am and what I want to be in this world. And it was exciting. Okay, it was exciting. In this journey, here's what's cool. Whew. Here's what's cool. And I just credit so much of this to being a college athlete because this is really where I figured out so much of what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be in this life because I learned how to go after what I wanted. I learned how to compete at a different level. I learned how to dig deep. I learned how to trust my team. And probably most importantly, I learned it's not about how big the circle of friends is. It's about how tight that circle really is. And this is truly where I started to find my voice. And it was so cool to realize I was finally finding my way. And man, did that feel great when I started to put the pieces together. Like when my life started to line up, where all the things that had happened to me, where I realized life wasn't happening to me, life had just simply been happening for me. And oh my gosh, there's so much more to this story that I'm going to save for another day. But the most beautiful thing that happened as a result of all of this is I started to embrace the fact that I was different. I started to love the fact that Kazzi Teel, at the time, Kazzi Foster was my name at the time. I was different and I loved it. And what made me different gave me a competitive advantage. What made me different made me who I was. And oh my gosh, this gave me massive levels of confidence in so many areas of my life. And so now I've stepped into who I am. I've found my voice. Like I've got the world by the tail. I graduate college and this confidence takes me straight into my career. Now, what I love to tell people now, I was definitely a boss before I even understood what that was. Because I went into my career with massive confidence, with massive goals, with massive desire to go do great big things. And it's crazy. It's so crazy how my experience in corporate America took me right back to my days in kindergarten, where I went into kindergarten with confidence. I knew who I was. I knew I wanted to do. I went into my career with confidence. I knew who I was. I knew what I wanted to do. But the people inside started to shake that. Just like in kindergarten, the people inside started to shake that confidence. And so here I am as an adult woman finding my way in corporate America. All everybody wanted me to do was to shut up. I mean, seriously, I remember in school, everybody wanted me to shut up, and I grew out of that. And now here I am, I'm an adult, and everybody just wants me to shut up. Like I remember being told my job was just to sit quietly and listen so many times. Kazzi, we've got this meeting. Your job today is just to sit quiet and listen, okay? I did incredible things in my career, okay? Incredible things. And I remember one day sitting in a meeting with my boss, and he asked me where I saw myself in my future. And I told him, this is what I want. I want to run this show. Like, I want to run this company. And you know what he told me? He looked me square in the eyes and told me, you're not that good. Make other plans. You're not that good. Make other plans. Are you even freaking kidding me? Oh my gosh. And I believed him. Okay. I believed him. Recently, not recently, but shortly after that, I got a promotion. I got a really awesome promotion. And I was told by a male coworker that I was promoted so somebody could check off a box that they promoted a female this month. Woo! Man, I remember just crawling into my shell because like every cell inside my body wanted to scream, but I also understood, okay, I've got to play the game. I'm in corporate America. There are things you can and cannot do. So I just accepted it. Okay. I just took it. I let people tell me to shut up. I let people tell me what I was going to be able to be. I let people tell me and make me believe that the only reason why I was having success in my career was because I was a woman, right? And I was so tired of being told what I wasn't. I remember asking my boss one day, okay, you tell me all the things I'm not, and you tell me all the things that I need to improve on. What am I good at? Like, what am I good at? Because I knew I was good at something, but I'd freaking lost my confidence again, and it was exhausting. And then there was the final straw where enough was enough. And at this point, I was 11 years into my career. I'd recently lost my job due to some structural changes in the company, and I was able to get a different job in another area of the company. Now, again, different people, different environment, different boss. And so I was in a meeting where there was a group of bigwigs in my department hashing out this particular issue, and I sat there and listened, and I had a lot of experience in this particular area. And so as I'm listening, I raised my hand to give some input. And you want to know what my boss said to me? He said, Kazzi, I'm not paying you for your ideas. Why don't you just sit there, take some notes, and you can email them to the group after the meeting. You can about imagine how well that set. That was the final straw. I was done being told that I didn't matter. I was done being told that I didn't have a voice. I was done being put into a box. I was done being knocked down. I was just done. And so I decided to stop doing what the masses wanted me to do. I decided to stop doing what the masses were doing. And I decided it was my time to just bust out. It was my time to shine. So I put in my 2 weeks notice. And I decided to walk away from my career. I'm walking away from a career that's paying me very good money. I'm walking away from a career that's giving me 30 days of paid time off. I'm walking away from a career where everyone thinks I'm just absolutely insane. In fact, my friends were like, what are you doing? They could not believe it. But here's what I did know. I knew that I wasn't going to do that anymore. And it was time to chase the greatness inside me because I felt it. Okay, I felt it. The little voice was inside of me telling me, Kazzi, you were made for more than this. You were made for more than sitting in a freaking boardroom taking notes because somebody told you to. You were just made for more. You were made for more than sitting on 10 hours of conference calls every day. You were made for more. And so I decided to jump. I decided it was my time to shine and just see exactly what I was made of. And the 35-year-old me, because that's how old I was 35 years old when all of this went down. I remember the words my parents told me over and over and over. I remember them telling me I could do what I want. Whatever I wanted in this world, I just had to be willing to put in the work and go chase it. Go get it. The 35-year-old me remembered putting it all on the line as a college athlete and just doing it, okay? It was so refreshing that I finally was ready to bet on me. And I got to be honest with you, it was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life because it was so scary. Thinking about it right now gives me chills because it was hard. But you know what? I never once looked back. I've never once regretted putting the chips on me. Okay, not once have I ever looked back and saying, I'm closing the door to the people who are keeping me in this box, and I'm opening the door that's going to allow me to chase my greatness. Never once have I regretted closing the door to the people who put me in a box and opening the door that allowed me to chase my greatness. And so in this journey, it's been really cool because I've learned how to chase what I wanted instead of a worry about what I don't want. I'm going to say that again. In this journey, I've learned how to chase what I want versus worry about what I don't want. I've learned how to compete in the marketplace at a completely different level. I've learned how to dig deep, okay? I've learned how to trust my team. I've learned it's not about how big the circle is, but how tight the circle is. Oh my gosh. All of these things right now that I'm talking about, these are all lessons I learned in kindergarten. Sorry, these are lessons I learned before I went to kindergarten, right? It was the unraveling that took me a long time to fix. These were lessons that I learned as a college athlete that got unraveled. Well, I can tell you what, guys, these lessons are not getting unraveled again. Some of the best advice I've ever been given was this: Kazzi, when you finally accept your place in this universe, life is going to get better. When you finally accept your place in this universe, life will just get better. Now, at the time, I had no idea what it meant, but today those words speak to me every single day. When you quit questioning your existence, life is better. When you quit settling for average, life is better. Okay? Quit questioning your existence. Quit settling, because life is better on the other side. Finding my voice and having the confidence to be loud and proud about who I am and what I want and where I'm going. Oh my gosh, it's been one of the coolest experiences of my life. Finding the courage and the confidence to speak what I have to say has been life-changing. Okay, it's changed my life. Now you today, as you're sitting there, let me ask you something. Are you trying to find your voice right now? Because if you are, I promise you, it is going to be the coolest thing you ever do to draw that voice out and speak your truth. Okay? Because if you're trying to find your voice, I promise you, there's one inside of you, and there is people right now. Okay, there are people right now waiting for you to start talking. Did you know that? There are people right now that need to hear you. They need to hear what you have to say, because what you have to share with this world is incredible. God blessed you with gifts that only you can share. And those gifts, my friends, are ready to be unlocked. One of the gifts that God gave me was the voice I have today. One of the gifts He gave me today was the gift to speak. And I think about all the times in my life that this gift was not appreciated, right? My teachers told me to shut my mouth. My bosses in corporate America told me to shut my mouth. Well, you know what? God gave me a voice, and I will never, ever, ever be ashamed of who I am. And I will never be ashamed of having this voice, because again, He gave me this voice to speak my truth. God put greatness inside of me, and He wants me to use that greatness to help people and change this world. And you know what? God made you great. God gave you a voice. What do you want? Like, what do you stand for? What do you not stand for? What strikes a chord inside of you? What skills have you mastered? Start talking, start sharing, because I'm telling you what, people need to hear from you. People need to hear. Maybe finding your voice is you finally expressing who you truly are. Maybe it's you finally able to take off your mask. Like, how good would that feel to be able to take off your mask? Maybe finding your voice means you getting the courage to step outside your comfort zone and start speaking in public. Guys, it took me way too long to start this podcast because I was so worried about it needing to be perfect. Okay, I was waiting for the perfect time. I was waiting for the perfect everything to start this show. But then I realized perfect was never going to happen. And I knew I had to do this show because it was another place where I was going to continue to develop my voice. And so, you know what? I decided to just do it. Was it scary? Yes. Did it feel uncomfortable? Yes. Did anybody listen at first? No. And I'm honestly grateful. I'm so grateful that I finally decided to jump because who knows, maybe this podcast would still be on the vision board had I not had the courage to just jump. You know what? Seeking perfection out of the gate is not possible. Okay, it's just not possible. And when you finally realize it's not about perfection, it's just about starting. Okay, it's just about starting. So I'm telling you today, greatness is out there. Greatness is inside of you. Have it inside of you right now. And when you start chasing your greatness, friends, that's where you are going to find your voice. How cool is that? Oh my gosh. You guys, this show has been so much fun to record today. You are amazing. God made you amazing. God bless you. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you liked this show today, please share it with a friend. I want to get this message out to as many people as we can, okay? God bless you. Mwah. Have a great week, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.